Under the vast Arabian sky, where the wind hums ancient lullabies and the dunes shimmer like liquid gold, there walks a poet disguised as a prince. Sheikh Hamdan, known to the world as Fazza, carries within him a heart woven from both power and poetry, a paradox wrapped in desert light. To the world, he is a symbol of strength, grace, and grandeur. But behind the crown and the calm lies something rarer, the pulse of unspoken emotion, the rhythm of a man who feels deeply in a world that demands control. He is the poet of the golden sands, and his verses are not written merely in ink, but in the silent movements of his soul. The desert has always been his confidant, endless, timeless, and unjudging. When the world sleeps, he walks among its dunes, barefoot in thought, breathing in solitude. Every grain of sand beneath his feet listens to the symphony of his inner storms. His heart beats in harmony with the wind, carrying whispers of dreams too delicate for daylight. In that sacred stillness, the ruler dissolves, and only the poet remains, vulnerable, human, alive. The sands understand him, for they too know how to shine quietly under the moon, hiding countless stories beneath their calm surface. His poetry is his mirror, not of vanity, but of truth. Each verse he writes is an unraveling of emotion that the world is never meant to see. His words are gentle rebellions, soft confessions of a man who feels everything yet reveals little. In his lines, one can sense the ache of longing, the burn of restraint, the tenderness of a heart that loves without claiming. Fazza's hidden emotions breathe through metaphors: love disguised as dawn, loss veiled in falcon flight, hope dancing in the desert wind. Every poem is a conversation between his soul and the universe, whispered in the language of eternity. To those who read him, his poetry feels like sunlight filtered through heartbreak, warm yet wistful. It reveals not weakness, but an extraordinary strength to remain open in a world that worships control. His verses do not seek perfection, they seek truth. And that truth, no matter how fragile, becomes his power. Through his art, Fazza reminds the world that a man need not silence his emotions to lead, that vulnerability, when embraced, becomes its own form of majesty. He does not hide his depth behind the glamour of royalty, he sanctifies it, turning it into something immortal. Behind every poem lies an untold story. Perhaps of love lost beneath the horizon, or of a bond that could never bloom under the weight of duty. Yet he never writes with bitterness. Instead, he transforms sorrow into serenity, longing into beauty. His pain does not destroy him, it refines him. Each heartbreak becomes a new stanza in the epic of his becoming. The falcon that soars above his land mirrors his spirit, dignified yet yearning, free yet bound to its sky. In his solitude, Fazza does not crumble, he creates. There are nights when he writes by candlelight, the city asleep, the moon his only witness. In those hours, the palace fades, the world fades, and he becomes one with his own emotions. His pen trembles not from weakness, but from intensity. Every word he writes carries the fragrance of his soul, the quiet ache of someone who has lived many lives within one body. His verses drip with honesty, not polished for applause, but raw, real, and eternal. In his poetry, you don't just read, you feel. The golden sands of Dubai hold his secrets. They have seen him smile for his people and sigh for himself. They have listened to his silent prayers, the kind whispered not to ask, but to understand. The desert, endless and forgiving, absorbs his emotions without question. And in return, it teaches him the wisdom of endurance, that even in emptiness, beauty exists. Even in silence, the soul speaks. Fazza carries that wisdom like a sacred flame, letting it light his way through the labyrinth of responsibility. He has learned that emotion is not a weakness, but a compass. It guides him.
There is an ache to his beauty, a kind of quiet sorrow that gives his presence its depth. When Fazza smiles, one can almost sense the weight behind it, the memories he carries, the emotions he never names. His grace is born from endurance, his softness from strength. He is proof that even those who lead empires must sometimes retreat into poetry to find themselves again. His hidden emotions do not weaken his image, they crown it with humanity. He has turned his inner world into art, not as escape, but as offering. His verses are bridges between hearts, crossing the distance between ruler and common man, between solitude and connection. In his poetry, love is not possession, it is liberation. Pain is not punishment, it is purification. He writes of emotions not as burdens, but as blessings, the sacred fire that keeps the spirit awake. Through his art, Fazza teaches that to feel deeply is not a curse, it is the rarest form of power. In the quiet rhythm of his lines, you can hear echoes of the man behind the myth, a soul that seeks truth more than triumph. The golden sands around him are both his kingdom and his mirror. They remind him that nothing truly belongs to us, not power, not fame, not even love, only the legacy of what we've felt and shared. And so he writes, not to be remembered as a prince, but to be understood as a man who dared to feel in a world afraid of emotion. His hidden emotions have shaped his art, his leadership, his legend. He does not run from what he feels, he writes it into history. Each poem he releases into the world is like a falcon, fierce yet fragile, soaring but never severed from home. His words become the heartbeat of his generation, echoing through time like the call of the desert wind. And though his poetry reveals much, it also conceals even more, a mystery that keeps the world listening, searching, wondering who he truly is beneath the golden calm. There are dawns when Sheikh Hamdan stands at the edge of the desert, watching the first rays of light kiss the dunes, and in that golden silence, he finds himself once more. The world still sleeps, yet his mind dances with verses, soft and luminous, like sunlight threading through the soul. These are the hours when he feels closest to truth, when neither crown nor title defines him, only the rhythm of his heart. The poet within him listens to the hush between breaths, finding beauty not in grandeur, but in grace. The sands do not ask for perfection, and neither does he anymore, they only ask that he be real. Through years of reflection, he has come to realize that the true wealth of a man is not measured by gold or glory, but by how deeply he can feel without fear. Fazza's hidden emotions, once guarded like fragile glass, have now become his light. He understands that to rule is to understand, to